This week's Torah portion is called Parashat Shelach. The Jewish people have come out from Egypt, they've gone to Mount Sinai, they've received the Torah, and they're now on the cusp of going into the promised land, the land that God brought them out to bring them into. Before they go in, Moses sends 12 scouts to scout out the land, to fall in love with it, to figure out the best strategy for how to conquer it. 10 of those 12 spies come back, and they bring a report that describes the land in such a way that the people become very fearful and they don't want to move forward. They're afraid. The scouts, these 10 scouts, come back and they say, the land is filled with giants and we are like grasshoppers in our eyes, and so too we are grasshoppers in their eyes. They saw themselves as incapable of conquering the land. They lost faith, their fear, and what they saw and they interpreted with their hearts became a self-fulfilling prophecy. They were unable to understand and hang on to the dream that God would bring them into the land and help them be successful. They were overtaken with fear. 2 of the 12 spies came back and said, no, the land is very, very good. And if God wants us and desires us, he will bring us into this land. And those 2 spies were Joshua and Caleb. And they stayed true with courage and with conviction and with a vision and with faith to what was possible. Because the people cried that night, God decreed that they would not merit to go into the land. They had to die in the desert, and the next generation would go into the land of Israel. But perhaps we can learn from this something very important: not to lose sight of the vision, not to lose sight of the dream, to continue to have hope and continue to have faith that God is with us and that God will help us survive and thrive. And so we do our part. We can see with our eyes the threats that are coming to us today from Iran, from Hamas, from all the proxies that are out to destroy us and destroy our land and destroy our people and destroy Western civilization. We can be filled with fear. But we are enjoined not to see ourselves as grasshoppers and not to let the world see us as grasshoppers, that we are strong, that we have a dream, that we keep building, and that God will be with us and help us be successful in our conquest for the land which God has promised us. The end of the Parsha, we read about the mitzvah of tying strings to the corners of our garments. The 4 corners of our garments, we put fringes, we call tzitzit. And these help us, when we look at them, to understand that God is with us. There's a blue thread in many of the tzitzit that help us not just look at the blue thread, but recognize the blue is like the heavens, that we look up and recognize that God is with us, that God will hold us, God will sustain us, God will be with us. And we must do our part. We must do our part to hold on to the dream, to have courage, to not fear, to build, to hope, to expand our vision, and to be like Joshua and Caleb. And may we be worthy of the dream and merit to see it fulfilled speedily in our days.